back to Big Boss Mare with Brandy Von Holton. Today I have two guests with me. I have Stacie Smith and Mary Bell. All right, so where do y'all live at right now?
We live in Pilot Grove.
Pilot Grove. So tell everybody, where is Pilot Grove at?
It's about 7 miles south of Boonville.
All right. Okay, south of Boonville. So now then, Stacie, you are originally from Texas, which I'm from Texas also.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
where are you from in Texas?
Arlington area. My parents lived in Waxahachie. I lived in Waxahachie. They lived in Midlothian. Waxahachie.
Go ahead and spell that for me if you can.
Waxahachie.
LMNOP. That's a long word. Okay, so how long did you live in Texas?
I was born there.
Okay, all right.
And then I have family in Oklahoma, so southeastern Oklahoma and Texas right there.
Okay. Now then, Mary, you're from Oklahoma.
Yes, I am.
Are you an Okie from Muskogee?
No, from Enid, Oklahoma.
Enid. Okay, I've been through there.
A lot of people have.
Yeah. I'm originally I'm Tex, almost Mex.
Okay.
I am south of Beaumont. It's hot.
Family in Beaumont.
Yep. Way south of Beaumont. Yep. And then my parents moved to DeKalb, Texas, which was right around Texarkana. And then we moved to Arkansas, and then I moved to Missouri by myself. And then I've been in Missouri since 2003. So I tell everybody
What month?
August.
I got here in April, so I beat you.
In 2003?
In 2003.
That was the year. Yeah, I moved here on my birthday in 2003, and my parents helped move me up in a horse trailer, and I moved here with 1 month worth of rent and 2 weeks worth of food and fuel and without a job, and I moved here to try to go to the Olympics as a heavyweight fighter, and met my husband and stayed. So
that's how I got here, was a horse trailer.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you try to be an Olympic fighter too?
No, 15-foot stock trailer, 4 trips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad drove the stock trailer to move my stuff up, and then me and my mom, I had a Mustang at the time, not a horse, a car. And so me and my mom and 2 cats that were in that car moved me to Missouri.
Yeah.
So
I only had 1 trip of stuff. The rest of it was horses I was moving up. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all have so Stacie, you are a 911 director.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
whenever people they call and talk to you, or they call and talk to employees that are underneath you, what exactly does that mean?
They call and talk to our dispatch.
Okay.
So I do the administrative part of it, like the SOPs and things like that, and all the QA, stuff like that. And then they actually take the calls, so they process the calls from the public and then dispatch out whatever emergency field responders need to go to that call.
Okay. I've had to call 911 before in the past. I remember, I hadn't graduated with my first college degree, so it was before 2002, but I graduated high school in 97, so somewhere in between 97 and 2002. I was at a gas station, and somebody fanned me on and said, "Come on, go in front of me." But then the car behind them didn't know that they had fanned me out, so they had to use the jaws of life. And
my goodness.
Oh, yeah, they cut my favorite shirt on, and the whole time I'm over here like, suck your belly in, because you ain't got no shirt on, girl. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about. My head busted out a window out of the car, and they didn't have to stitch my nose. They had to glue it across. So that's one of the few 911 times.
I did EMS before 911, so.
Okay.
It's kind of cold in Missouri for a Texan, so it was a little bit cold outside, and I decided I want to go inside.
You know what I've noticed? Okay, so Texas is you got 2 seasons basically. You got summer, and then it's still warm for the rest of the people, but it's not summer heat. You know, so you got summer and kind of fake summer is what I felt like I had in Texas, where you know it was just hot. It was more hot. It was dry heat. Arkansas was wet heat. Yeah. You know, could never have your hair done right.
Well, parts of it are dry and the other parts are wet. Yeah. My granddad used to say it was 3 seasons, hot, hotter, and hotter than Hades.
Oh, man, now that's hot.
It is hot.
Okay. Now, so what were we talking about? We were talking about how Texas is hot. Okay, Missouri. Missouri has 4 seasons, and every one of them, it's super wet, it's super cold, it's super windy, or it's super hot.
Yep.
And, I mean, we're talking cold. Last year, it was so cold. It was colder here than it was in the Antarctic.
I know. I looked that up, and I called my mom. I said, we got to get everything in the horse trailer. We got to go back. I can't do it.
We're done with this state because this state is Antarctica.
It is. Yeah.
So, and then this year, it got blazing hot for a little while.
I loved it.
Yeah, I'm okay with the heat.
I want to be like a lizard on a flat rock south of San Antonio. I want the bank clock to start flashing 123, 124. I'm good with it.
Oh, my gosh. So, Texas girl. Now, Oklahoma. Yes. Now, you are probably like, tornadoes probably don't scare you anymore. You're kind of like, no, that one's only going to be an F2. Okay.
I'm the person that steps outside and watches them.
Oh, okay. So, have you ever been in a tornado?
No, I have not.
Okay, but have you ever seen them?
I have seen them.
Okay. Yeah, Oklahoma is known for tornadoes, just like Kansas is. Tornadoes bad. So you are a manager of a paint store.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so tell us about managing a paint store. You mixing colors and
mixing colors,
people
mixing
come in with
stains.
like something goofy and be like, I want this color?
Yes.
Okay.
Surprisingly, they do that, and they want me to match a blanket or something, and I have to make it match.
So tell me some of the weirdest stuff that you've had to match.
I think it was actually a pair of boots for somebody. They liked the color of their boots, and they wanted wood stain to match it for their trim in their house.
Okay. So whenever you're coming on to Von Holton Ranch, there's a horse statue that's rearing up, and everybody thinks we done come into some money because it looks like it is bronze.
Correct.
It is not bronze. It is painted bronze. Mm-hmm. So that right there is, the power of paint. That thing's actually fiberglass, and we had to bolt it down. Okay, but everybody's like, oh, dang, where have we, these people got money. And we had $300 one time and bought that and then put some, my husband put some concrete down. Mm-hmm. But matching paint. So, I got to go to the U.S. Treasury before, or U.S. Mint. I don't know, wherever they make the money. I did that. And they, like our dollar bills are green, but they're not really.
No, they're not.
Yeah, there's no green in that. But I've seen one person that wanted to have a car the color of money, and that was like a big ordeal to get it to match because there's actually no green in it.
Correct.
So tell us something cool about what you do. You got any like things that people mess up on, like mats, or if they really wanted to cover up something, what they got killed, you'd use kills, or is there something better than that?
Well, there's stuff better than that, but it does cover a lot of stains, water stains, smoke stains, stuff like that. Mainly, it's when somebody comes in, they're like, I need this color. They've already been to 2 other paint stores to pick that color out, and then they bring it to me, and they're like, we need it to match exact. Okay. And I can get exact most of the time. Not 100% of the time, but most of the time.
Or those smelly paints. Those are cool.
Like a good smelling paint or something that's
No, they make smelly paints. Like if you want your kitchen to smell like a lemon, or maybe you want your bathroom to smell like a grapefruit.
Is she being crazy?
No, she's accurate.
What? I didn't know they had smelly. I was just like, what are you doing with that paint?
No, they have it.
There's scents that you can add to them. They last about 3 months. They're good for rental properties, so you can cover up the smoke smell of the previous tenants.
Well, does it come back after the 3 months?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a quick, it'd be good. You know what that's going to be good for is if you needed to sell your house.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Or the really cool ones are those antimicrobial things they're coming out with now.
Yes, we do have a new paint line.
Okay. Well, that's real good with our current state of
right.
the world.
Exactly.
But tell me about this. Tell me about this special paint.
It actually kills for up to 5 years germs on surfaces.
Okay. Well, I would think that would be great for, like, I have a conference room in my boarding barn, and it's insulated, but it's not got heat and air in there. So there's a little bit of mold in there, and we're going to have to bleach it and all that. But that might be something to help out in there whenever I go to paint it. Oh, okay. Well, that ain't what this podcast's about at all. And I'm over here like, this is cool. Man. And you're all like, girl, I'm a manager of a paint store. And I'm like, that's awesome. Getting to talk to ladies that are, a 911 director and somebody that manages a paint store. Man, people have all sorts of knowledge, and you just don't ever take the time to dig up in there and ask them questions about it. I'm kind of like a sampler platter. I'm all like, would you like to talk about fighting or writing books or being a school teacher or riding horses or mounted archery? Like, I'm kind of like the people that go to college and they don't know what they want to do. That's kind of what my life is like, as general studies, apparently. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm waiting to grow up before I decide what I'm going to be.
I'm still waiting on that.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what messes with me is I didn't ever have kids, so I forget that I could be someone's grandma. Like, I forget. I'm all like, oh, next year, this is what I'm going to do. Like, like whenever you talk to high school kids, I'm going to do this and this and this. And you're like, mm-hmm. Well, I'm like a 42-year-old high school kid because I forget that I'm supposed to be grown up and all these norms that society has on me. I didn't ever have them because I wasn't a mom, and then I could have been, and I forget that I'm older than what I am until, like, I'll see somebody that looks younger than me, and then their kid is grown, and I'm like, oh, I forgot, I forget. So, well, let's talk about y'all. Y'all been together for 9 years.
Yes.
And y'all have got 3 kids. You got 2 in college. And then you got 1 that is a senior this year.
Yes.
All right. So the kids, 1 is a sports management major and 1's a chemistry major.
Correct.
Okay. So what made them want to do that?
My son has been a sports junkie since he was about 2. I never found cartoons on the TV. Always found it on Sports Center.
Okay. Just
ESPN
been infatuated with it.
Has been, and he's could do the stats of a baseball team by the time he was 5. And he's followed his dream. He goes to the college he's wanted to go to since he was 3 years old.
And this person, your son, sounds like he's got direction in his life.
He does.
That's great.
This kid, one year, I asked him what he wanted for Christmas, and he wanted fat heads. And I was like, okay, the big stickers you put on the wall, the fat heads. What do you want? He said, OSU. I got to have OSU. That's where I'm going to college. And I'm like, dude, you're 12, but okay, we're going to go with it. And so when he left for college, a picture came up on my phone as a memory. There he was, standing in his bedroom with his new fat head OSU with his little guns up.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, goodness, he did do it. And then there was Sydney right along behind him. She's like, I ain't going to OSU. I'm going to OU. Yeah. You're 10. I think she was 11 at the time. She was 11.
And then she's all like...
And where's she at? Mm-hmm. She's on her 2nd year at OU.
Man, that's some mental clarity.
Yes.
A lot of times kids are like, I want to, I don't know, I want to be a lawyer, and then my second job, I want to be a jockey, and then I want to save humanity. Or you got kids that are like, if you could go anywhere for your birthday, where would you go? And then they'll say, I want to go to McDonald's in town and bring my friends. So, like, either they have, like, these grand ideas, then you're like, what? Or they can't even think outside of the town that they live in. So that's what I don't know. Whenever I used to be a school teacher, that's what I found. I found the big dreamers and the ones that didn't even know how to dream. And it sounds like your kids are like, this is what I'm going to do, and that's how it's going to be.
That's how it's been since they were little kids, and I've never stood in their way.
So the last child, the one that is the senior in high school, now this is a farm kid.
She is a farm kid.
Yeah, so what does she want to do?
Anything to do with 4 legs and tail and horse head. She's learning about mules, though. She's not been a huge mule advocate until recently, but she is definitely a farm kid. She likes anything that's outdoors. She loves all kinds of animals. FFA, whatever it is that's agriculturally based, she's in it.
Okay.
She's recently learned to weld. She's been growing stuff in greenhouses at school. And she said she could weld, and I thought, okay, well, they're teaching her to tack weld. And she came home from school and gave Mary a rose. A rose.
Okay, so she's doing some legit welding, not
like I wish I had it here with me. It's beautiful. It's every pedal cut from the metal welded together. I was like, wow, that's not really. I mean, it's tack welding, but goodness. So then she's like, well, I'm growing this this plant. And I thought, yeah, she's got a twig growing in a pot. Nope. She came home with what was that?
It's some flower that she grew, and it's still sitting on the porch, and she waters it every day. And
Oh, yeah. And she's like a little horticulturist. I'll go in and I'll get like these little $12 ferns. Brandy, I got a fern. I got 2 of them hanging on the front porch. She goes out there and talks to them. She waters them. I don't know what she tells them. But these things start out about the size of a, soccer ball, something like that. These things are this big. You can't even put your arms around them. They're huge. They're so massive that when you pull up to our house, what you see is these 2 giant ferns and then this little bitty porch.
Oh.
She's growing crazy.
Well, I am kind of a failure whenever it comes to growing stuff, except for the cactus one time that I thought was real, and it turns out it was fake, and I was watering it, and I even moved that thing into different states because I bought it at an airport, and I thought that I was buying a miniature cactus, and I just thought it didn't grow very much.
Did you water it?
I did for years. My husband still makes fun of me.
not realizing it didn't need watered.
No, well, I was just like, you know what? It just doesn't grow very much because it's miniature. Come on. It's a miniature cactus. It doesn't grow very much. Okay. So, anyways, that's a big laugh between my husband and I because I am the best fruit we had this year was from some cantaloupe that I fed the horses, and they just like pooped it out in the pasture. And I was like, hobby dang, I grew cantaloupe this year. Like I'm going to master gardening. I want to master gardening so bad. Like I want to have stuff that's like winter stuff that you've already planted it, before winter happened. And then boom, you got it early spring. And like, actually I had David put me in a water hydrant, and then we're going to, for an area so I would not have to carry water around. And then we're going to have some like chicken house combo with a greenhouse. And I'm like, oh, please don't let this be wasted money or time because I am going to master this. I hate that I have a biology degree and I'm just kind of dumb about gardening.
Well,
it's not a strong point at all.
Like cantaloupe ordeal, you had a little natural fertilizer going on in there.
Oh yeah. If I mimicked my mother's gardening, what it would look like would be, I would have big ideas and I would plant something way too big, and then I just let it get overgrown, and then I would just brush hog it. And might get
Sounds like what we would do.
Oh. Is that what a lot of people do that?
Yeah, we plant something and it get out of control.
And then we're like, let's just mow it.
Yep,
Start
pretty
back
much.
over.
What were those vines back there? Blackberry bushes.
Yeah.
Won't this be cute? Go get the tractor 3 years later. Bring the brush hog.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was thick. It was 12 foot wide and 6 foot deep.
It was a mess.
It got out of control in a hurry.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's I always have to do planter boxes. When I have been successful, the 1 year I was successful was with planter boxes. So then I was like, okay, today I'm just going to work on this one. And then it didn't get overran because I would, de-weed then. So.
Oh, containment. That's always a good idea.
Oh, yeah. I love little container boxes. And then I don't have to bend over so far because with being designed the way I am designed, I don't like being bent over for a long time because I got a lot of front weight, and that just does
Hurts the low back.
It does hurt my lower back being bent over for forever. So, okay, so these 2 people, I brought on 2 of the 3 people that host the MidWest MuleFest. So the MidWest MuleFest, they just had their 4th year, and I was actually invited to it, and it wasn't hosted here. This is not an advertising opportunity for Von Holden Ranch. I just like to bring people on that are doing something different and that are positive people trying to impact the world in a positive way. And then I find these little pockets of people. So y'all have got a little pocket going on, but whenever I went there this year to Panther Creek, and Panther Creek is, what is the name of the town that it's in?
It's near Tuscumbia.
Tuscumbia. What? We'll spell that one.
P-U-S.
Okay, we got the Tus.
Yeah.
And then Cumbia.
Yep, C-U-M-B-I-A.
I didn't know if it was going to be C-U-M or C-O-M, but
C-U-M.
All right. Well, I know that from Von Holton Ranch to Panther Creek was 1 hour and 19 minutes, and it was an easy drive. It was a very easy drive. So that's a trail facility that is sort of like ours. They've been around for a lot longer, and they've got a lot more trails. I think we've only got 25 miles of trail. They've got a lot more acreage, and that's what they're known for. Is we've got some people that they go to Panther Creek several times a year, and then we've got other people that don't even know where it's at. Mm-hmm. So, but that's the same way with Von Holten Ranch. I'll meet people that live in the same county that I do, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like,
"Don't know it exists." Yeah.
They don't know it exists. You're only cool when you got to travel to go to something, you know. So.
We see that a lot with just the other thing that we do, Wagons West. Mm-hmm. You see everybody that's out in the West, or they're coming and they're headed to Tennessee, Kentucky. They want to go down and ride in Alabama or wherever. They're all headed toward the east, and those in the east are trying to go out and ride in Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, all those places.
Well, you know, people always say the grass is greener on the other side.
They do. I say we get a big Airbnb going, but instead of it being a bed, you know, air barn and barn or something. Just
barn and barn?
Yeah, swap farms. Everybody go on vacation for 2 weeks.
Well, you know, there's something called Hip Camp, HIP, and then hipcamp.com. We probably make a couple of $1,000s a year off of that, and it's people that are looking for hip places to camp, and they love our shower house. So these people they'll go and camp, and it could be an individual's place, and then as soon as they come here, they're like, people camp with their horses?
I did, and
I'm all like,
there.
Yeah. I'm like,
you know, that's the first place I go. The minute you had a customer come in, you
mm-hmm.
said, I'll be right back. I said, Mary, let's go in the bathroom.
Yep.
Got to go look at the bathrooms.
Oh yeah, got to go look at the showers and stuff.
Yeah, it's really nice in there. I was literally standing out front of it, and I was looking at just the build of it, the cinder block, the way it's put together. Everything's mm-hmm. so clean. Went in. Of course, I'm looking in the shower. I'm like, wow, this is cool. They got their own little dressing part, because most of the time when you go to a camp facility like that, you have your privacy in the shower, but you still got to get dressed. And there's, so
you're trying to get dressed in the shower. Are you going to get dressed
in there,
mm-hmm.
trying to put your socks and underwear on while your body's half wet? You ain't got nowhere that you can get dried off and put your clothes on unless you just walk out there naked, like in a high school locker room. But anyway, we hopped in there, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go look at the guy's side, see if it's as cool as the lady's side. Mm-hmm. And I opened the door, and there's a gentleman standing with his britches on. I said, oh, goodness, I'm so sorry. He said, it's all right. Come on. Nope, we're good. He was a really nice guy. He was already dressed, thank God.
It was the DJ.
Yeah, it was the DJ.
Oh, okay, we already met him. He was cool.
Yeah, he was super nice.
Well, I usually whenever I show our facility off for like a wedding or something, I usually go on the guy's side, because we usually don't have that many guys, here. And it's typically cleaner. If we haven't cleaned the girls' bathroom yet, then I'll usually show them the guy's side.
Okay.
Because girls are elaborate.
They are, but traveling all over, one of the things I've noticed is the ladies' side gets the most attention mm-hmm. as for the decoration. Yep. So I always peek in the guy's side going, oh, hey, are they getting jilted over here? What's going on? Oh. Yours is equally as nice.
Okay. So hey, get this here, our grand opening.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it was a week before our grand opening. We hosted an event, and we had to do it that weekend instead of waiting one more week until we were open. Well, the shower house was done, but we didn't have the dividers between the toilets. So we could only do one bathroom before that event for the dividers. And I was like, it's hands down got to be in the women's, okay? So right. The guys... Our first event the weekend before we opened, which that sounds weird, but it was like a state championship for this association. But the guys opened the door, and there's just 3 toilets beside each other, and we're like, good luck. Sorry, we couldn't get it all done. Okay, that's all. Well, and like they didn't have any beef about it.
They're fine.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I know. We're like,
I can attest to Von Holten Ranch. The restrooms on both sides are very nice, and they are equally decorated. There is not one side changed for sure, and they have awesome big roomy showers with extra place to dress. The bathrooms are separate. Nice countertops. I also noticed that, because it always seems like when you go away to camp somewhere, if you are using the shower house, there's never enough room to set things down.
Right.
And you got all that going on.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
It's nice in there. I was impressed.
Well,
Oh,
you know,
and my favorite part, and I walked up to Mary, I'm like, you got any quarters? She's like, you are not getting on that. And I'm like, yes, I am. It's plugged in. Mm-hmm. Brandy
we
had,
leave.
yeah, right. So she's got this.
pink
like
pony.
Right.
Okay, so
Where did you get him?
well,
I want one for the front porch.
David's stepbrother had a bar, and he had bought it at some auction, but then the bar closed, so we bought the pink pony. So that pink pony, we empty the quarters out once a year, okay?
Yeah.
It's 25 cents to ride. Take a guess, just from 2021, how much money do you think was in that pink pony?
Oh, I would have to say, well,
It's 25 cents, not 50.
okay, 25 cents. I'd say probably at least $200, maybe $300.
What do you think?
That's what I was going to go with.
Okay, well, y'all think that pink pony gets way... Okay, we were pretty pumped with 51.
Oh, my God.
$51.
Gotta be
Yeah, but a
kidding.
lot of people don't know it works. You know,
Put a
they just
sign on
think...
it.
Oh, well...
While you're waiting, take a ride.
No drinking allowed.
Oh, yeah. The cheapest horse you'll ever get to ride that won't buck you off.
That's right.
Yep.
That's cool.
Guaranteed
It's a
not to
cool
throw
pony.
you.
Like, literally, I'm like, look at this. The bathrooms are great. They got all this room. We got an ice machine right here. And look at this.
They're a pink pony.
It's a pink pony.
And that quarter, we need to shorten the song. The song plays for too long. You are getting at least 40 cents worth of ride time out
Now I'm
of
going
that
to have
quarter.
to go put a quarter in there. What is playing?
I don't know, but it's playing like the whole song. I
We're
don't
gonna
know.
find
You're going
out.
to record
Yes,
it so you can
yep,
play it
yep,
at MuleFest, aren't
yep.
you?
So tell us, all right, so the reason I brought them on, tell us about this MidWest MuleFest.
Well, MidWest MuleFest is a mule festival that's about the people. Well, it's about the mule and the people who love them.
Okay.
And how it got started, as I said earlier, I'm from Texas, moved up here. I was looking for people to ride with. Ended up meeting a lady named Melody Canote who rides a mule named Ruby. And we became friends over the years. And then Mary came along, and we would always plan these. Okay, so let me back up. We started Trail Riders in Mo, the Facebook group, because we didn't want to use the phone tree every weekend. We just post where we were going, you know, what day we were going to get there, was we staying or was a day ride, whatever. And this thing just exploded. And, you know, pretty soon there was
The
500,
Facebook
then
page?
2,000, 3,000, 4,000
What's the name
people.
of your Facebook page?
Trail Riders in Mo.
Yep. In Mo for Missouri.
Yeah.
M-O.
So
Yep.
Trail Riders IN and then space MO.
Right.
Anyway, so this thing exploded. So we'd post on there, we're going to be at wherever we was going this time to this time, and people would just show up. Mostly we would do conservation areas, and not being from here, I didn't know about the 10 heartbeat thing. You know, everybody just had the same great idea on the same great day.
10
And,
heartbeat thing.
yeah, you know, you're supposed to get permits and all that to ride on some of that place if you got more than so many riders.
Oh, I
But
don't know
we
what
were-
you're talking about.
Well, you're on a private ranch. So,
Right.
But anyway, we would always ride in places that would allow, you know, more riders. People would start showing up, and Melody was always there, and you might have 20, 30, 40 people out there, but there would never be any mules. And so Melody, our friend Melody, she said, man, I wish more mule people would show up. I'm really interested in finding me a mule man. And I was like, well, let's have a mule ride. She said,
Did she ever find her a mule man?
she did find her a mule man.
Oh,
He's a big boy. His name is David, and I mean he's 6'7".
He's 6'7".
Now, mind you,
350
Melody's
pounds.
5 foot. Okay,
Okay.
this is a big man.
That's
anyway,
awesome.
It is awesome. It
Yeah.
worked out great. But so she said, well, you can't just have a mule ride, and I said, why not? We have trail rides everywhere, and so we decided we was going to do it. This was late 2016, and we started planning it, and we had the first one in 2018. And the only place that we could find that would fit with everything that we were doing, because we also wanted wagons and stuff to be able to come, was Panther Creek, because they said they had, I think when we originally checked it out, it was listed as over 100 miles of trails and 30 miles of wagon trails. So we
Right.
thought, okay, well, that kind of fits with, you know,
I
kind of
didn't
what we
know they
wanna
had
do.
wagon trails.
Oh, yeah, you
that's
take wagons
great.
out there. In fact,
Do you know if it's the small ones or the bigger ones?
any size you want. I mean, you could get 2 trucks on some of these paths, you know, passing each other,
okay.
big trucks.
See, that's great to know, because I always have people that want to ride wagons, and I'm like, you can't ride
So,
wagons here. You know,
in
we're
the
not
years-
set up for it.
Yeah, in the years that we've had MidWest MuleFest, this is the first year
Hold
that
on, pause. you can ride wagons at Von Holton Ranch. It just has to be the little 2-wheel ones, and then they ride, but they're not set up to go on our trails. I didn't want anybody, because we've had some wagons here. Okay. I didn't want anybody to be like, what? Because we've done some little, like they're usually with little pony cart. Yeah. Okay, so what were you saying about there?
So in the years that we've had it, this is the first year that we've had wagons, mule teams, wagons, and wagon drivers, wagon masters, whatever you want to call them. In fact, one of them was Mr. James Canote, which is Melody's father. And we also had Joe Albright, and he had a really big wagon. And I think he had draft mules, didn't he? One of those draft mules? I don't know.
Believe so.
James, Melody's father, I believe he also had draft mules. And so it was really neat because it was first year that we got to have wagons there. But that's how it got started. The idea of it was that it was a trail ride, because we kept having all these trail rides, no mules showing up. And so it kind of grew from there. And after that first year, people wanted to see mule games and stuff like that. They wanted other things to do. And so the other idea was the vendors that came in, they would all be, you know how when you go to any equine something, everything you pick up is a horse, and you got to dig through. Finally, you might find one little old thing that's a mule. And so the idea was that every vendor that was there would be mule specific.
Right.
So when they walked into a little vendor tent, anything they picked up was a mule. And we kind of grew it from that idea that it would be specifically about the mule and the people that love them. And so it's kind of snowballed. It's been like a Vidal Sassoon commercial. They tell I'm telling you, we spilled over into primitive this year.
What is, okay, so I don't understand your analogy with the Vidal Sassoon commercial.
I'm going to have to show you some videos when we get off here. You remember the old commercial, and they'll tell their friends, and they'll tell their friends, and they'll tell their friends too? We're going to have to bring her up to speed.
You're a little older than
you're a little...
Showing my age here.
Yeah, she's got a decade on me just about, and I'm over here like... All right, so that reference is for everybody else that is 10 years older than me, apparently, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, y'all go get on YouTube and look up Vidal Sassoon commercial.
Okay. So what's the gist of it for everybody else that doesn't know what you're talking about? Oh, it's just that it's
they
snowballed.
It's people telling people.
Okay.
We did put a little bit of advertisement into it, but we didn't get crazy. It was mostly supposed to be a family-based event that was about trail riding. We were going to do fun stuff with it, and it has morphed into this giant, very close mule family. They literally look at it as their extended mule family reunion. We have a great set of volunteers who throw a big thank you to them, because we couldn't do it without them. There's only 3 of us, me, Mary, and Melody, and then the host of the camp. They took care of the camp part, but we do everything else. Without those volunteers, there's no way we could do this. And in that, without the people, the attendees, we wouldn't be doing it. So
right.
it takes everybody. But this thing has turned from a mule festival to like a mule family. Okay. And it literally has snowballed. And it's a lot of fun.
So here, this was my first year to attend it, and I am a prisoner in paradise. What that means is I can't ever leave Von Holton Ranch. It's like Hotel California.
Right.
Like, you can come, but you can't leave. That's what it is for me. Like, because we've always got something going on here, right? Yeah. Well, I was able to leave for a little bit, but then I had to come right back, and then you had me there on a Friday. Yep. Or Thursday. No, it was a Friday.
It was a Friday. It was the day before the Ruby Games, yeah.
Right? So because Saturday's our busiest day.
And I wish you could have stayed.
Yeah.
I really do, because I had people come to me and say, that was so cool, and that she was doing that. And I'm like, the mounted archery? Yes, the mounted archery, but on a mule. Because the other thing is they don't see a lot of, you see horses doing mounted shooting, mounted archery. But you don't see a lot of that. And so JoJo, that was so cool that you brought JoJo. And, here this long ear, this magnificent long ear out here blazing the field. And you've got this bow with this, you're pulled back and striking these targets. And it was just really cool. It was a good experience, and they loved it.
So this, with me going there, my experience was, I'm not very good at backing trailers. So what was wonderful about this was there's a big loop for me. Okay, well, a lot of people like to know that. So Panther Creek has a loop, so you're not going to get hung up. Okay.
It's got 2 loops, in fact.
I have made it one of my goals for this year, and I even make goals posters and stuff, is that I wanted to take 5 trailer backing lessons from my husband, and he's just about like refuses just about. So, oh, y'all are like, we got this. No, I
actually teach trailer backing at Rouge and Road.
Well, I want to do it with nobody else seeing except for my husband, because I know I'm a rough student sometimes, and this is going to be a rough student situation, I think.
If you had 3 things shown to you, you could back it right in there, no problem.
What I'm saying is I don't think I'm a good student sometimes.
Well, we just don't video it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Sometimes I'm mean whenever I get frustrated. I have the wrong emotion come out, okay?
That's all right.
And I don't think I want to be mean to y'all. I would rather be mean to my husband.
Well, there's an easy way to do this.
Two-way radios.
Yep, two-way radios. Those are the best thing in the world when you want to.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because you're not yelling from the front to the back.
Well, yeah, don't yell at me whenever I'm doing that, because I will not take that well, because I will be like, rah.
So there's 2 main things to teaching somebody to back a trailer. 1, well, actually there's 3. First of all, they got to want to learn. 2, there's about 3 things that you need to show them, and as long as they can remember those 3 things, then in comes the 3rd part, practice.
Yeah, that's where my husband's like, well, I can teach you how to do it, but then you got to practice. I'm like, no, you're going to sit there with me 5 times in this vehicle, because that was my goal, was 5 times, because I can back, but I need it to be quiet, and then I'm going to say a whole bunch of words that are going to require some forgiveness from Jesus, and then it's not pretty, but I can get it done, and then I'm mad and I'm sweating, all sorts of stuff. Like, well, it's just
if you have a few little skills in your bag, it's a lot easier than you think it is. There's so many tricks that we don't get shown that once you see them, you're like, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing here. It's pretty easy.
My perspective of coming to your MidWest MuleFest was, A, I didn't have to get hung up, okay? And then B, there was a ton of people there, okay?
Yeah,
there was a ton of, I was like, okay, this is great. Then I was, I noticed that there was a low water crossing, but there was no water there because it was dry. So
it's a dry, wet creek that runs through there. So part of the time it's got water in it, and sometimes it don't.
Before the facility, there was
yes, that's the same.
So that one, okay. That's the only thing I've ever heard, was that sometimes whenever it's rain, you just got to it's better to come whenever it's not raining right then or something.
Stay in the middle of the road.
Stay in the middle of the road.
Stay on the concrete.
Okay, stay in the concrete. So that was just things that I had observed. And what people were just so happy. They were like, hey, Brandy. Hey, everybody was there, and they would talk to me, and Cindy Roberts was there, and she interviewed me, and she ended up having to re-interview me because it didn't record well, and she had to do that. But she was super nice there. And then here's the biggest thing that I like, me being outside looking in, a lot of people didn't know me. I mean, like, they had met me right then with doing the presentation, and then as soon as they met me, then they were like, oh, okay, hey, Brandy. But those people didn't know about Von Holsten Ranch at all. And so I was appreciative to be able to be invited, because, whenever you're in the same industry with someone else, a lot of times they're not going to allow you to come on. Okay, so like Panther Creek is another trail facility. Well, they, the person that's running Panther Creek right now, she's come to our place, Melinda
Burgoon. Yeah, she's a really nice lady.
Oh, she is beyond nice. And she's brought her grandson. I don't know if it was her 2 grandsons or a grandson and then his friend. I didn't know. But they've always been super nice. And the fact that that's the first time that I have been, and we've been open for 7 years, and it's the first time that I have been invited to come to another trail facility and demonstrate something that I do. Now, I get invited to boarding barns to teach clinics. I get invited to expos, but never another trail facility has let me come onto their place to tell them. But it was for a specific event,
right?
And then, but I appreciated that, because there's so much cattiness amongst women. And whenever I showed up at Melinda's, first thing I gotta use the bathroom. Okay, and then she's like, there's a shower house. Yep. Okay, so, and then I came back and I gave her a bottle of wine, and she was like, oh my gosh, thank you. And then I signed waivers, It was just real nice to have like a pleasant interaction. And other trail facilities, we're not mean to each other, but I'm not invited to come and do something at their facility.
I think Melinda is definitely, She's a cut of a different cloth. She's a really nice lady, and she's definitely the right person for that job. She is probably the most welcoming. Every time you go there, you feel like it's a cousin that you haven't got to visit in a while, and you're just kind of going back home.
Well, yeah, me and her were both like, she's like, I haven't got to get to ride. And I was like, me neither. Because we're both like,
y'all always
prisoners
working.
in paradise,
Yeah.
We love it.
She was super excited when after you did the presentation, everybody was talking about, where can we do this? I was telling me, Von Holton Ranch, this, she actually does these classes. And several people were talking about, we need to go to Brandy's and do this. And Melinda was like, I'm going too. Yeah. And so we're trying to figure out what weekends you guys aren't over the top of each other. Right. But yeah, she's
and
she's super
I want to
nice
go back out there because I didn't get to get on the trails because I did one presentation, which I was coming in on like 2 wheels to get there in time, for that first one. Then we had a little gap. Well, then I just talked to everybody. Then after my second presentation, I had to get back home. So I didn't get to do any trail riding. So I want to come back because my animals, they're great here. And everybody's like, oh, her animals are so great. And I'm like, well, they can be a bunch of ding-dongs as soon as we leave here.
Yeah.
You've got to get animals to different places.
Yes.
So if I saw, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Mary, but looking at the 2 outside from, pulling into, and I stopped at the gate. I told Mary, I'm like, got to get a picture of this. And of course, took a picture of the bronze pony, the big one.
The not so bronze pony.
The not so bronze pony. But, coming in the gate, both of you guys are really set up good, your entries and everything. The one thing I noticed about yours, you as Melinda, both of y'all are very meticulous about your decorations and stuff is beautiful coming in here. And then, coming up to the whoa sign, y'all both got a whoa sign, whoa, check in at the office. But looking at it, so I would say like the difference where people are seeking out that 4,000 acres with those natural trails, the thing I noticed here is you guys are meticulous. Out here on this course, Brandy, I mean, you got a course that's set up. Yeah, you can find all that stuff at Panther, but unless they're doing it in the arena, it's more spread out naturally. It's a natural occurrence type stuff that is happening in the nature on the trails, whereas you have it focused into one area. Right. So, though you're both different, I think you both have very special attributes about yourself that are
and here's
really
deal.
Neat.
People need to go. I don't want somebody that just comes here. Yeah. They're going to get bored with me. Yeah. And so, and I want them to appreciate what we have that makes us special. I want people to go to multiple trail facilities because I want this industry to thrive.
Absolutely.
Okay. And it's not going to, if people would get bored, our stuff, I want people to go to other places and just put us on their rotation of where they go throughout a year. Yeah. There's enough room for that. I mean, our Halloween is busting at the seams. Like, we don't have any room right now, but one of our favorite things that we host is St. Patrick's Day. And there's a lot of people that don't do a lot with St. Patrick's Day. We love our St. Patrick's Day. And, and then we also have the Missouri State Fair in our county. But, I've got to get people where they come here and camp and then go to the state fair a little bit more. I think the horse industry.
You're really not that far.
No, we're in the same county. I mean, we're 14 miles from there.
If I had to choose
14 miles is nothing, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I had to choose a staying in Sedalia or coming out here and camping, I'd come out here and camp.
Do you know, here, I'll tell you something. Okay, so hopefully these people won't be on this podcast. But do you know, my horse people, they treat us great because they know this right here is David and I. They know every time there's a clogged up toilet, oh yeah, my hand is raised, and it's me, right? If something is icky, that's me. Or if it's icky on the guy's side, that's David. It's us. There's no magical person that's going to handle anything for us. I mean, we hire some people here and there, but it's us for the nitty gritty. And they're not, the people we hire to help us are not here on the weekends because we got to get everything done before. But horse people treat us wonderful. Whenever we have people that come in that are not horse people and they just think, oh, this is an RV park, girl, they will, toilet paper come up missing a little bit. Uh-oh. Or they'll dry their hands and there'll be a garbage can right there and they'll just throw it down on the floor. Oh my. And I'm all like, oh, y'all don't know. Oh, you don't know. I will kick you off here if you disrespect me. Boy, you better
Are
they'll
these
throw
people that are
stuff
staying
down.
during the state fair?
Yeah, some of the people
Oh,
that stay
okay.
during the
Oh, my
state fair.
goodness.
But it's less than like 5 or 6 campers. But like the only time we have people that we're like, oh no, do not add to our workload that already don't get done.
Well,
They just don't know. I think I need to hand them, like have a handout that says, this is just 2 people. Please don't make it gross. This is a family-owned farm, and we've invited you onto our private property.
Brandy, you're kind of spoiled, though, because you deal with horse people. And look, most horse people, they clean up after themselves. They don't leave things laying around. So, you're getting a difference in, I ain't saying there's any difference in city folk and farm folk, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. But probably 10%, maybe 15% of our campers have nothing to do with horses, and that's growing every year.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
you guys are in a good place, too.
The wedding industry, with us hosting weddings, then those people are like, oh, we love to camp. And it's so weird because my horse campers will be like, people camp without horses? What did they do? And then the people that come here that don't camp with horses, they're just like,
what are all these stalls for?
Oh, my God. Well, they're just like, that's a lot of work. They're like, how did they relax? We're just used to working.
So when we took the little tour around the place, I was laughing because the dog, I looked out there and I'm like, what is this locked in here? And it's this giant dog locked in a horse stall.
Oh, yeah. We've never, ever had that. So right now, whenever this interview is going on, we had someone rent the entire facility. That package is called the whole enchilada. I came up with that. I thought it was going to be cute. I loved it, right? But they didn't want to have quiet time. Well, so the only way to not have quiet time is to not disrupt other people. The only way to not disrupt other people is there can't be other people here. So we have people come in and day ride, but they're not camping. Anyways, well, they're just huge fans of dogs, and they've got all sorts of boxers with them, and this one is huge. This is a big old white boxer. I used to have a white boxer named Q-Tip. I love that dog so much. But I wanted to give her like a punchy name that was like, don't mess with Q-Tip, but then she would have wagged and licked you to death, Try to give her that punchy name. So, okay, this MidWest MuleFest, when is it?
It's every third weekend of September.
What? Third weekend. Why are you saying third week?
Well,
Why
because it started out as the third weekend of September, and now it encompasses the week prior. So whatever those dates fall to be, it is every third weekend of September.
We're going to have to work on that wording. That is
know.
rough.
Hey, they got it.
Third weekend.
Yeah, they know it's the weekend.
Okay, so whenever it starts on Tuesday, and then it goes into that third weekend?
Well, yeah, so it starts on Tuesday, and everything kind of starts winding down. I would say late Saturday night, but, last year, this last September, we ended up, after midnight, branding the announcer's booth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
in
right.
the middle of the night.
Okay. So what are people now? Some people can't do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Most of the world coming in on Friday. What are y'all doing if somebody couldn't do that whole time? What are they missing out on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
So we do clinics that keep people busy through the week, and then we also did Miles with Ruby, though we are changing that up because we have encountered that. So we're constantly growing and changing to try to meet the needs and wants of the people that are participating in it. And one of the things that we've ran into is that people can't show up on Tuesday. They can't just take a whole week off.
I was leaving on Friday, I passed trailers, and I was like, they're just coming in. Yeah.
So we're having to change that up a little bit so that everybody can still compete in the Ruby Games, which is that huge obstacle course on Saturday. And next year, you're going to see a lot of changes coming with that. We haven't got it all worked out yet. We'll be posting it out on Facebook so everybody knows what the rules are ahead of time. But it's going to be a changed game for year 5.
Okay. Well, you know what's really cool about we've having to change all the time with owning a trail facility? 5 was the marker for we hosted a ton of events, but if we didn't flip over and start focusing on trail, then people would have never came to our facility and viewed us as a trail facility. They would only view us as a place to come and do events, okay?
Right.
And then, as a teacher, if you make it to your 5th year and you actually finish your 5th year, then you're usually a lifer, or you're
Oh,
going
boy.
to be, or you're going to be a school teacher for like huge amount of years. But five seems to be good. But with your event, with the MidWest MuleFest, it takes a while. The first year, you're just like, Jesus, take the wheel. Oh my God, here's what we want to do.
Oh, we were there.
And then the second year, you're like, okay, we're going to tweak. And then year 3, year 4. So now 5, you know what you want. You're confident in it. And then you've got clarity of like, I love whenever people try to tell me things to do to improve. And I'm all like, we do too. And a lot of them are great. But do you know how many people will just tell you some stuff that has got to be the most basic thing in the world? Like, you know how many people tell me, like, you could host barrel races. And I'm all like, I know. We don't want to do that, and then they'll tell me, you should do a scavenger hunt. And I'm like, we do 5 of them a year. You know what I mean? Like they tell you, and you're just like, okay, all right.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know.
But have any other ideas, let me know.
But then sometimes whenever people call me with ideas, you're like, okay, that is a good idea. Like I just had a friend call me that said, you should paint some rocks and have us go put the rocks on the trails and do a dog event. And I'm like, okay. So I put it on Facebook on just my regular page, like, hey, here's
a dog event?
Yeah, a dog event. Like she wanted to make it where the dogs, like we come out and do like the mountain trail course with dogs, and you get to introduce them, have dog vendors and stuff. I think that would be great.
A dog course would be awesome.
Yeah, a dog course would be great. I would love to do that. And so I put on Facebook like, hey, here's my friend with these 2 ideas. Help me think about things that I'm not going to think about. So immediately the big response was, are you talking about horseback and dogback? Because that could be scary. And I'm like, no, so I realized that there was some problems there. But then we got to make sure all the puppies have their puppy shots. We got to do that and got to have some paperwork on them for having that, and everybody's got to be on a leash. But I'm going to host a dog event.
Well, it's no different than checking your coggins at the gate. So
yeah, but this, it's the same thing. We'll just have to make sure that everybody's.
It's a great idea.
I do too. And that my friend called me, and it's Diana Markworth Vibo. She's the one that called me, and she's like, I want you to do this, and I'm like, man, that's a wonderful idea. Let me work out some kinks, because there's always kinks.
Yeah, I've only seen those like in Kansas City, St. Louis, or even Columbia.
Yep. So how do they...
It's a great idea.
So I'm just saying, like, year 5, I think you're going to have a great event, and, like, it is going to be good because you've got people that have been coming to it, and now you need to twist. Yeah. So you'll keep loyalty, and then you can clean it up and make it where it's even stronger. So how do they find information about your event?
You can go to MidWest MuleFest on Facebook.
Okay, so this right here, MidWest MuleFest, is 2 words.
2 words.
So
M-I-D.
Midwest, so the M is capitalized and the W is capitalized, so Midwest, and then there's a space, and then MuleFest is 1 word with 2 capitals, capital M, capital F.
Yeah, and there's a page and a group. So you can just look at the page, or you can go join the group. Those are a lot of the regulars that come back every year, and there's a lot of information in there on the group. Is where we post things like pre-order for T-shirts, things like that. And then you can go, if you just want to see what it's about, you can go to any year, put in MidWest MuleFest space, starting with 2018, and any year that you put in will pull up that year's event, and we post videos and pictures in there.
Where are you just talking about
on
Facebook?
Okay. Just on Facebook.
Okay, so the only place they can find out is Facebook, which is fine. I'm just needing to make sure, because if they hear about it here, I want to make sure.
Yeah, they can call 660-281-1592. Leave a message or send a text.
Okay, and that's your contact information. Okay, so there you go. If they didn't get that number, it's 660-281-1592. 1592.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, any closing thoughts or ideas, Stacie?
Had a great time at Von Holton Ranch.
This is awesome.
We should have brought the ponies.
But it's supposed to be okay, so I don't know when you're hearing this podcast, but right now it is October of 2021 whenever you're hearing this podcast, or that's when we're recording it. But, okay, it's been wonderful weather. It's supposed to be 90 degrees today, and the next week's supposed to be cold. And so it is like this state is hormonal. Okay, this is a menopause woman state. It's hot and it's cold. Katy Perry, this is where she got those song lyrics from. Was from Missouri's weather. Gosh, I told
Or
you,
something.
all 4 seasons in 1 week. Okay, that's the weekend. Well, I've had all 4 seasons in 1 day before. But all right, so Mary, any closing?
Come out and join us. Join us at Panther Creek. Join us at Von Holton Ranch.
Yeah.
You want to ride either one? Let us know.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah, this is their first time coming here. And so, but now I wanted to show them my facility, but I know that they'll be bringing friends back and come and trail ride and camp.
Well, the first thing specifically we're coming for is your mounted archery clinic.
Right.
So don't
I
let
think
me
we're gonna
leave
do
without
a
knowing when that is.
Women's weekend for that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So here, thank you for tuning in to Big Boss Mare with Brandy Von Holton.